Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of PixieCraft. So there are a couple of things that I want to get done today. The first thing being is I went on a little side quest. We have a bunch of plushies with a plushie mod inside of the server. And there are 77 of them, which I am currently obsessed with collecting them all. So you are going to see a little bit of what I've done along with another fairy on the server. And lastly, I kind of want to change my house. If you saw last episode, I created this cute little turtle with a house on top of its shell. I still absolutely love the concept and I will keep it that way, but I don't love how the house looks on top of it. So those are the two main things that I want to get done today. There might be more for all I know, but that is the goal for this episode. As I mentioned, there are 77 plushies total, and I currently have 41. The way that you can get plushies, and the only way you can get plushies, is from trading with shepherd villagers that are on master level. Typically, it's 2 plushies per villager, but sometimes they're either duplicates or you don't even get 2. Me and another fairy on the server have been at this about 5 hours. I think when we ended, it was about 2 a.m. But we currently have 69 out of 77. I created this villager breeder slash training area for all of the shepherds that we needed it to level. I'm super excited because here I got a fox and a dolphin, which were slowly progressing, but especially 2 of the ones that we didn't have at the moment. As you guys can tell, this takes a lot of emeralds just to level them up. So I found the easiest way to do that is through a lot of sticks. At 10 emeralds apiece, you need 770 emeralds for every single one of the plushies, which is about 12 stacks plus 2. And that is not related to actually leveling up all the villagers. I also made this sheep farm over on an adjacent island just for gray and white wool, since that's typically one of the very first trades that a shepherd can give. As you guys can see from the bridge view now, it does line up really well and I do like that factor, but I think because the turtle itself is so low to the ground. Now granted, I do need to terraform and get rid of all of these grass spots so it's completely surrounded by water, but I think because it is so low, I don't like how tall the house is. And the way that it works with the moss just doesn't seem right to me. So instead, my plan is to actually replace the house with just a tree. And hopefully I like that a little better. I think it ties in the more naturey and wood theme we have going on. And then I mentioned before that I want like a feature or something right here. I think instead what I want to do is create a whole underground area for me to live in instead. There's so many different ideas through Pinterest that I have been loving and been obsessed with. And on top of that, I want a ton of storage space for all of my random stuff that I have in all these chests. So instead, what I'm planning on doing is this area right down here, I kind of want to turn into a big aquarium or have a bunch of turtles live inside of it. I do want to create a feature that goes down, and so as you're going down, you will see the turtles or the fish or whatever I decide to put in here going downwards. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm now at the point where I'm pretty fed up with the water. I terraformed as best as I could, but there's so many of these spots where the water isn't flat, which honestly I don't hate because it is a turtle, so maybe it's kind of like it's moving, but it's also really obnoxious because you can only put the freaking lily pads on certain areas, so it's like, I don't know. I also don't know if I want it like more uniform, like this, or if I want them a little bit more scattered, like these bridges over here. So we'll see. Also, underneath the turtle, where I will be eventually kind of building out, is awful. Like, I tried my best to fill in the water spots, but there's so many, and I was so tired that we're just gonna, that's a later project. I think I might commission or ask a water fairy who has water breathing to help me fill it in, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, say goodbye to the honey house. That lasted approximately less than one episode, or like 24 hours. So, goodbye. Here is the schematic of my tree that I'm planning on doing. It is super duper cute. It's definitely a lot different than the house originally. It has quite a few different blades. What are these called? End rods. There's quite a few end rods that will light up the tree, including a couple frog lights in place, which I still need to get. But I have a few different ideas for decorations, such as potted plants, jars, and some different mushrooms and leaves going all around. I'm also wanting to fill in this space. I might end up taking this row off that has maybe a little campfire and a couple seats around it. And then, of course, taking these little deep slate stones and I think probably trickling them down here is my initial idea. I don't fully know exactly the easiest way to make this right, but maybe I just leave it as is. Maybe I just take it off one down, I'm not sure. And then when you go inside, down here is where I'm planning on having the full downstairs and having everything that I need all the way at the bottom. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and get started on this. Alrighty, here is the finished tree. I think it came out so good. I think it looks super cute. I added this little area over here with the benches and the fireplace, and added a couple of these bee lights all around just to give it a little bit more light. Not like it needs it, but a little light and a little bit more movement and motion. One of the things I did do in the schematic that I did not do here was I filled in the inside of the tree just because I had to do that to build all the leaves around. But in this case, because I was using a schematic, I could actually place all the outside blocks instead of also including the inside blocks. So I left it hollow. I'm not 100% sure if I'm even going to do anything in here. I'm definitely going to put a share stone up in here so I can easily go from up here to down there. But I might put maybe valuables in here if I don't have a different secret place, or if all else just some cute decorations and seating. But I think this pretty much represents a lot of what I want the rest of the vibe of my area to be. Like, I think it matches the flowers really well, just kind of whimsy, cute. I want to add more lights somehow to the flowers though. But I think now when you come up, you just don't see a big house. It is really about movement with the turtle and movement with the bees, and really all about nature and the woody aspects. Nature and the woody aspects of things, especially, oh my god, I can't, I've been up with the lily pads that I have. So here is what it looks like now on the map. Yes, it is still a blob in the middle of the shell, but it's super nice to finally be able to actually see the turtle and faintly see the flippers underwater, and even the paths all coming together. It helps me really lay out in my head where I need things to go and kind of spaces I should fill in. For example, over here, this is actually also going to be moved, and there is going to be another feature right over here, which might mean I have to move this koi fish to a different location, but I think that is perfectly okay. I'm also planning on filling in this space right in the front over here, and I'm also debating about making this area a bunch of farms, including the farms that are over here, which will be moved. This is quite a big island though, so I'm not sure if just in terms of enough room or taking room from other people. But I do think that if I do turn this whole island into a farm, people who decide to move in the surrounding areas or like one of the fairies who lives up here are welcome to use it. But I know they have their own plans for this downed area. It looks like there's a house popping up here. So I don't want to do too much in terms of taking up space, but I think it would be a good kind of communal island of farms if people want to use it. That's a little bit for plans for the future, but I hope you guys like the tree, and then in next episode we are going to get started on carving out the downstairs and making that look as pretty and functional as possible.
But why is there so much fucking fire though? Did you see the tree get hit?
It was lightning, right?
I
I
think,
don't
yeah,
know.
Star Knight was saying that it was lightning. I think, okay. We got another problem area over here by me.
I'm trying to get rid of the water.
I'm trying to find out where I'm in.
Guide me there, whispered dreams. Guide me there, whispered dreams. Take me where the gentle streams can soothe my soul. Turn the sky softer blue. Let me
Thank you to everyone joining me on this PixieCraft adventure. Unfortunately, this will be the last and final episode of PixieCraft. There were some issues behind the scenes, and Fairy Grotto will be closing its doors. I don't want to get too much into it, but I will hopefully have other episodes and Let's Plays in the future. But for the last time, see you fairies later. Bye!